It would not be a Frank's retirement home stream without some hiccups. It looks like we are the PvE deaths tonight with this lobby. So, we saw a few bands come through, a lot of target bands going back and forth from Cyberpunk and Calder's Good Boys. Is there anything else that you're expecting Calder's to pick up in response to that Athena that was picked up before we
Well,
crashed?
as we go here into game 1, take 3, with Athena and the global rotation she provides, I do expect the Calder's Good Boys to pick something up that can try to match that. I know Sniper likes Ratatosker, and I would really expect that to be locked in the first two bands here, or first two picks rather.
Absolutely. I do know Ratatasker is a big one. Thanatos is a very strong one as well. Um, and I definitely think getting that strong jungler online early would be a huge um, benefit to Calders. I think either having their jungle or their solo online very early, because they are two of the strongest teammates on that side. Not to mock anyone else, but we have seen Lone and Sniper, as well as Green Dragon, their mid laner, really pull out some huge games over on their side.
Exactly, and as we see Hover and Lock-in of Ratatosker, yeah, it's just the global presence, especially early on, that Ratatosker provides, just
Mhm.
exerts so much pressure at wherever he wants to exert it, be it the solo, be it the mid lane, or even over in duo lane. If Sniper Glenn likes to get him and his teammates snowball rolling and then just roll that from one side of the map to the other, so
Mhm.
that would be what I expect to see.
Seeing a couple of other picks come out. We are seeing DDM pick up this Kronos once again. We are seeing him being a Kronos textbook this season over in this mid lane on him. He's been putting out some huge numbers and being a real threat to anyone he goes up against, as well as Dave on this Mulan. These teams did not get up here easily. They have both been extremely strong and really pushing hard. So they're really pulling out their best gods here.
Oh, absolutely. And not a surprise to see the Mulan. She loves to get at it, and if that's what you want to do, there's very few gods in the game who do it better. It allows you to match any pressure that they might have and potentially turn it back around at them. And while I wouldn't normally expect to see Kronos in the mid lane, if that's where they like to go, if he likes to do that, it does provide a lot of damage and a lot of extra target on the objectives and towers come late game.
Absolutely. And that Izanami pickup is a huge piece for the Calder's team. And we are seeing a couple of bands come out: Achilles, Sun Wukong, Thanatos, and X Ball. So, really trying to lock down Jacob Rosso from Calder's and then trying to definitely target out Lone Wolf, who does have a laundry grocery list of gods that he could play in that solo lane. So it's going to be interesting to see what these two players do end up picking up into the second round.
Absolutely. Definitely not surprised to see T Pity bring out the Izanami with that last pick. He's been playing that a lot, and it just brings so much pressure that it's hard to argue against it. And then, like you said, a lot of bans at the solo lane, but I'm not really surprised. Those are all really good, strong gods, but it does still leave open the Amaterasu, who is also very strong once she gets a little bit online. But as we've discussed, Sniper Glenn likes to use that Ratatosker to get that solo lane online. Do see
Yeah.
a Thor hover to potentially match that semi-global rotation, though.
Yeah, that'll be really helpful in the hands of Zaf. Just having that pressure to be able to not only have the global distance, but being able to sneak up on a lane even better than a blink or a dash. And unless Calder's is putting out those deep wards and such, they may not see that Thor coming in and really dunking in on them. So it'll be a really great um, move for Cyberpunk to end up pulling. But we are seeing that just hovered right now. Thanatos, oh no, Thanatos is banned. So uh, it looks like just the Thor is up for global, if I am correct.
And we
I think.
do see that locked in, which
Mhm.
not surprised, and a Rama to match with it. So also long range. Not I wouldn't call that semi-global, but a long range ultimate. But he's actually one of the few gods able to match Izanami in wave clear with his
Mhm.
piercing autos. So I'm not surprised to see him locked in there. Athena Ram is just a very, very, very strong lane at pretty much all points of the game. Charon might struggle a little bit early into that, but all depends there.
I'm really interested to see this Kronos and Cuckoo matchup in mid. Like Kronos has some strong attack speed and such that he could clear wave semi well once he reaches level 3 or so. But Cuckoo, if he gets double tornadoes by level 3, he's clearing wave and just moving on to whatever camps are up. So it's going to be interesting to see how these two dance around each other in the mid lane as well.
Absolutely, and that's just what Cuckoo's known for. He just drops the twister and then goes and does something somewhere else while you're still dealing with your wave, and it's one of his greatest strengths. So I'm not surprised to see him show his head around in this set.
Absolutely. So I'm going to ask the ever loving question: which team are you favoring right now?
Which team am I favoring right now? It's fairly close, but I'm gonna have to go with Calder's Good Boys on this one. I
Hmm.
just I think the team fight around that once it comes to 5v5 is just a little bit stronger with them. With
Hmm.
both teams have long range initiation out of the jungle, so that's fairly neutral. But if you're 5v5, that Awilic, or I'm sorry, that Athena global pressure doesn't matter anymore. She's right there with you. And at that point,
Hmm.
I think the 5v5 is just not much. I'm saying like just 55-45 instead of 50-50. Weighted coin
I,
flip in their favor.
I gotcha. I do have to say I am a little bit of a favor of Cyberpunk here. The reason being is comfort picks. Now, I haven't been watching Calder's Good Boys as closely, but I have gone up against Cyberpunk and scrimmed them before. So seeing them on these gods, I know they're very comfortable on these gods, but I'm right there with you. I think it might be like 49-51 for me on either side. So going into this, I definitely think it could be either which way.
Oh, absolutely. And it's familiarity and comfort with your picks is just as important as what is actually good or not. So that could easily overcome what is a little bit of a wonky team comp. It's not like they did anything crazy. They didn't troll picks and bans. It's just a little irregular. And
Right.
playing well together and on gods can easily overcome that.
Hmm. I almost wish if they knew they were going to go into Kronos and Rama that we saw Fafnir here instead of an Athena, but I think Athena will end up pulling a lot of great taunts and a lot of strong team fights.
I agree with you there. The Fafnir would have been nice just because it matches that team identity.
Hmm.
But well, when you have the chance to pick Athena in this day and age, you don't pass her up.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. Going into this, seeing some builds come out, a lot of similar builds. It looks like a lot of warriors acts over in the solo lane. We are seeing Acorn into Eye and Eye into Mace and Jungle, Sands into Book, Sentinels into it looks like Prophetic. I am not a support player,
Minions
but
have
I believe that
spawned.
would be Prophetics, and the only difference being in the ADC lane.
yeah, it little surprised to see both of them building into prophetic. Not so much from Charon. Charon has the range to be able to build those stacks a lot easier than Athena does, so I'm
Mhm.
not surprised to see it out of him. And as far as the ADC difference in builds, that attack speed aura that you get late game from Hunter's Cowl is just so strong on Rama that I'm not surprised to see him go that. Whereas you definitely want to go crit on Izanami, so the crit starter, not a surprise there.
Totally understandable. So, seeing these players come out into lanes, seeing them reach level 2, a couple of poke damages happening over in the mid lane, these jungle laners being at about half health all around. But standard starts, no early first bloods or deaths to the camps at all. So
Uh, you expect to see players want to make sure the first few minutes go well for them here in the playoffs. You don't want to start yourself off on the bad foot early on. So I would expect to see it be at least a couple minutes before we see any daring plays.
absolutely. But it does look like just about even pressure across the lane as well, as we see Ratatasker come over for this shield buff and possibly an early gank on this Rama, which is a really smart idea. As we also see Thor rotating over in the opposite direction to try and get Lone Wolf behind,
Off with the
and
wall.
is going to get that first blood for Dave over in the solo lane. Good job by Thor, just being able to wall him off and get him locked down, so this way Mulan can just put out her damage.
Absolutely, it's just when you see your opposition go one way, you have two options: follow them or go make plays somewhere else on the map. Ratatosker went left lane for the buff, Thor went to the right and got a kill. So he just chose to exert that pressure over there before. But we do see Ratatosker hovering, potentially looking for a return gank in left lane.
Yeah, I think
Looks
he
like he's
was
gonna walk
peeking
away.
out. Looks like he was peeking out just a little bit, but it looks like Izanami Clear is just pressuring just a little too much and keeping Rama and Athena safely underneath that T1. And it's just a little bit too early for some tower dives.
Yeah, it's a little darned if you do, darned if you don't there, because the Izanami clear, like you said, just so strong, it's gonna force them under tower. But if you don't use it and try to bait them out, they're gonna know something's up. Like, why wouldn't Izanami be using her clear? So, unfortunately, not too much you can do to try to get them out of the safety of their tower there.
Absolutely. And we're seeing something interesting here where we see the solo laners at their opposite buffs. Amaterasu ended up backing before that blue buff spawned for Mulan, but it does look like there was an invade over there. As we see Charon getting low over here, thanks to that Rama damage. And keeping up pretty well with this clear. We're not seeing an overwhelming pressure on the Kalder side for ADC, but just that little bit of pressure where they're able to clear and secure their purple buff a little bit faster.
Yeah, and they do have the clear advantage, but it's not heavily in their favor. And I would say Cyberpunk has the PvP advantage as we see the dash taunt, but return damage coming at them. Shell popped.
Yeah, we are seeing Charon get low, but Rama just as low as well. But Izanami is not going to have that damage or the autos to secure that. And it looks like Rama might be thinking about going for that purple buff, but is going to hold off and keep his health in line and keep himself safe. We do see Charon backing, and it looks like Thor did an up-down on his ult. Not able to engage on that very much.
Yeah, thought better of going in with the ult there, but he does find the Cuckoo here in the jungle.
Yes, but that tornado and that mist Spirit of the Nine Winds is going to get Thor into a rough spot over in the mid lane, as we see Sniper Glenn going in and using that Exidrill, looking to do a T1 dive possibly, but yes, and is going to secure that kill. And good move on Sniper, both Charon and Cuckoo ready to follow up on that Kronos, just in case Kronos thought that he was gonna do a little something to do some return damage onto that Ratatasker, but nope, was able to secure that kill and be able to get out fairly safe.
Yeah, just really clean play there from Sniper on the Ratatasker. Manages to blink in, get a bunch of damage and leave him one shot, and then secure the kill, get out without taking any threat to have a return kill to burn back the momentum, as we see Mulan ult in with pressure on the Amaterasu here.
Yes, Lone Wolf getting very, very low. Dave zoning him out away from his tower line, his safe tower, and is just continuing to keep up this pressure. Amaterasu has no mana, has almost no health, but
the arrow. The Athena
he's gonna grab it, and the Athena ult looks like it's gonna push out some damage and capture Lone Wolf's life, as we see some support dueling over by the Chaos side blue buff, as a couple of members from Cyberpunk Otters is coming over here to collapse on this Charon, but he is going to paddle away right up S Creek.
and not enough damage there to take advantage of finding Charon. But we
Yeah.
do see the Athena ult come out, and remember, it's not kill stealing, it's kill securing.
I don't know. Seeing a support kill this early, I'm not sure. I think that's a little bit of a steal there, but it is good. It is good to have that type of XP and such going on to a character as a support such as Athena here, because it's going to end up helping push Athena's strength so much further into this game and help out the team even further. I feel like Athena is one of those supports that you want to get ahead as much as possible.
Yeah, if you're on the opposing team and you see the Athena is the same level as you, or even worst case scenario, a higher level than you somehow, it's just the worst feeling in the world. So definitely never a bad thing to get the Athena up ahead of the competition a little bit.
Absolutely. So we are seeing Ratatasker and Thor both ensuring that we are putting some pressure on this ABC lane, as we did see Thor ult over onto the Izanami. Rama ult up in the air, hitting three autos onto T Pity and taking him out. But as Rat ult coming in and dunking down on this Thor, securing that kill onto Thor. The Charon wave helping get Rama still in the area, and Sniper Glenn is just gonna get that all cleaned up and get a cheeky little double kill.
Yeah, just lots and lots of action there in the duo lane. We saw ults from everyone, all kinds of damage, but in the end, little bit there in favor of the good boys with the Sniper Glenn picking up the double kill.
Absolutely, we're seeing this Rappy 3-0 as we see these supports really duking it out over in this mid lane. As Lone Wolf is fighting for his life, but is struggling over against this Mulan, as Dave is now a 2-0 on her, and really securing that with that one assist with the Athena kill from earlier.
Absolutely, definitely exerting pressure over here in the solo lane.
Yeah, something interesting to note, it looks like it's 8 minutes in and Rama is at risk of losing his T1 tower already. Izanami pressure is really showing prevalence here and really putting some difficulty onto the Cyberpunk side here.
Absolutely, and as the game goes on in the midpoint, the Izanami clear does kind of like reach its peak, so I'm not too surprised to see pressure coming out there as we see the Thor coming in.
Yeah, we do see the Thor coming in, trying to capture that Izanami, trying to put her behind a little bit to help relieve some pressure for Jacob over here in the ADC lane, but it looks like not much is going to come from it, as we see some poke damage happening back and forth as Zaf goes ahead and picks up that green buff on their side. But we are seeing Rama put out some pressure onto these beacons over on the ADC side, but is going to back up as teams are preparing with some wards for this beacon that is coming up. A lot of wards are coming out on the Kalder side, deep wards over onto Cyberpunk's Otters side of the map, and it's definitely interesting to see how much ward coverage that they do have, and it's really helping prevail with their leads that they do have in their lanes. A lot of wards over on the left side of the map, which is really helping for them to secure this T1 at a 9-minute and 53-second mark. So, as we see this Kronos begin to... Oh, we do see Zaf taking another gank over onto Lone Wolf. Mulan diving in as the Athena ult comes in again and secures the kill onto Lone Wolf. Another secure for them, as we see Ratatasker up in the air, the World Tree coming out and taking a peek around, looking to see if there's any from the Cyberpunk side, so they can try and get this Gold Fury. Rama does have the ult and is going to use it, but is not fast enough. The Ratatasker being at 1 health if he just went up a little bit earlier, may have been able to secure that gold and possibly a Ratatoskr life. We are seeing the Kronos ult come out as well as his health comes down, as Athena is beginning to pressure out this Kukulkan and try to put out some good poke damage onto him and try and secure this Ori vision for the side of Cyberpunk Otters, but it looks like Kronos is going to try and gather some wave pressure before he loses it. As we've seen this Kronos be stuck underneath his tower just a little bit extra. As Mulan is proxying just a little bit underneath that solo tower, but it looks like Sniperlin isn't going to let him go this time. We are seeing that Contagion online doing some poke damage over to the Ratatasker after that stun. And the Amadachi is going to go in, and that life is going to be secured in the favor of Kalder's Good Boys. We're seeing a 5-4 lead, but negligible gold difference, just about 500 gold difference, as we also see Charon securing that blue buff and stealing that away from the Mulan. Seeing Thor
not too much difference on the gold here, but that's definitely important there to get a kill on Mulan and give Amaterasu a chance to get her feet back under her and try to stem the bleeding there so she can still be effective. He will be effective come late game, but she wants to get there a little bit faster than it would have been otherwise without that pressure, without some of that help to stop the momentum there. As we see Thor dunk in.
Yes, we see Thor dunk in, take a couple of tower shots, but is going to go down to the Kukulkan. It looks like he may have just been a little bit too confident with that Thor ult and may have just taken one too many tower shots and missed a couple of autos on the Kukulkan. As we see Charon sitting over here on the beacon trying to secure it, but with Athena and Kronos there, they're going to bully him out of there. Sorry, Rao, not today, not getting that beacon. It looks like it is going to go in favor of Kalder's Good Boys, as no one else really, except for Kukulkan, who's just coming up now, is going to really try and contest that, but is going to go in the favor of Kalder's Good... apologies, Cyberpunk Otters.
Yeah, Zav may not have gotten the kill, but he did force Cuckoo back to base there, which removed all of the space control that he has around those beacons, so that the Cyberpunk Otters could at least come back and get a bit of a consolation prize with the beacon there.
Absolutely, and I think we may have missed it, but it does look like Cuckoo used his ult when Thor dunked down, so that was down as well during that beacon, so he wasn't able to try and knock them off of the beacon as well. So that was a really good move, strategic move from Thor there. As we do see Thor beginning to rotate possibly onto this Amaterasu again, looking at that blue buff, just feeling extra greedy as Amaterasu is here and ready to fight, but it looks like Mulan is going to try and out pressure as we see this Amaterasu ult come out and Mulan ult come out as well, but Amaterasu is getting low. It all depends on who is able to secure these abilities. Thor is up in the air. And it looks like he dunked over into lane. Okay. And Amaterasu is able to live with a quarter health. So,
I understand not wanting to, after the last one didn't go his way, I understand not going in there, but I think that one would have been a little bit easier to secure the kill. But they still managed to force that Alma out and continue to apply pressure over there. Mulan's just exerting so much of it in and of herself. Any help she gets from Thor usually spells danger to anything on the right side of the map.
Absolutely. We did see Athena trying to get some pressure onto this green buff again on Kalder's side, but Cuckoo was not having it and wanting to try and get Athena away. It looks like Cyberpunk is really taking into factors of trying to pressure out this farm and trying to starve Kalder's Good Boys of farm as much as possible, as we see Rekka in the air trying to contest this Oni Fury, but it is going to go in favor of Cyberpunk Otters, but they are going to pick up that Athena first as that World Tree is down, but Zaf is going to try and go in. That Aegis is used on Thor as Rat is 2 health, but Kronos is going to pull him back in and secure that kill as Thor is ulting in the air and is going to dunk on that Izanami. Izanami's half health and is going to use that Aegis, but that tower shot again is going to secure that kill over onto the Thor, but Rama is going to be able to clean open up the kill over on that Izanami and secure that tower.
Yeah, so far it's essentially a 2 for 2, but Cyberpunk got Gold Fury and a T1 tower. I call that a win. We do see Lone Wolf over here on the Pyro trying to get a little bit of that, trying to mitigate that win a little bit and get some momentum back to the Calders.
Absolutely, we do see that Caranol trying to put out some damage just to assist and help pressure that out, but we do see Cyberpunk Otters really pressuring out this mid tower as well, trying to open up that map for them so Thor can't possibly die to less towers and give some less credits to Calder's good boys there.
Absolutely, but even so, even despite a Gold Fury and 2 towers, the gold lead's non-existent. It's tied here 16 minutes in. Yeah, 52 gold lead for them.
And so, it's 7-7 here as well at the 16-minute mark.
Yeah, so Calders has just been doing a very good job of securing their own farm, making sure that they're not giving up any pressure aside from those towers, although they took a tower, yes, but it matched the tower that T-Pity had already forced out there over in duo lane.
Correct, and it does look like Calders did pick up that solo tower as well, as we see Lone Wolf being at 1 health here underneath that tower, as Zach is taking his tower shot. He's going to be at 1 health himself and is going to hammer dash out as that tower falls over in the solo lane. That Rat Blink coming out, but Thor is going to put out an awesome wall to stun Rat and prevent him from taking his own life, while Rat is now in danger with the Athena coming in, taunting Rat into a Mulan sword and damaging and securing that kill over on the Rat. We did see a rotation from Cuckoo come over, but it looks like he is going to be able to escape with his full life. Athena
eventually one of these tower dives had to go Zap's way, you figure, right?
I mean, a couple have gone his way. I think that it was just that mid-tower one that was a little bit rough. We are seeing Izanami ult come out, and Thor ult coming out with a wall and a hammer to really nail in that death there.
Well, if you look at his build, 20 on Jotuns, 10 on Trans, 10 on Hydras, that's 40% cooldown, so he wants to ult all the time, and we saw him use it in one fight, come over, use it in another fight, so yeah, he's just able to do that, be everywhere all at once and help his team out.
Absolutely. I think Zaf really has a playstyle to do that and really help secure these kills and be able to really powerhouse around the map like this. As these builds are rounding out, what are you thinking so far?
So far, I'm not seeing anything too crazy. It is double prophetic and feeds from both supports. So while they're building those stacks, I would like to see one team just decide, hey, their support's only going to get stronger. Let's just pick them while we can and then force fights afterwards. But we'll see if anyone does that, as we see a flurry over this beacon. Lots of ults being traded so far,
yes.
Right up in the air in the background.
We did see Sphere the Nine Winds come out, Rattle come out over on the tree, looking to pressure out this Rama, who is out of position away from his support and everyone else, as we see him go in the air trying to land these snipes but missing all 3. Rat's gonna dash in, throw out some acorns, and being able to secure that Rama kill. And we saw several ults being utilized there, but not much damage.
3 seconds for him to get away.
Oh, and it looks like he is going to get away with that blink as well. And it looks like Calder's Good Boys is going to try and go for this Primal Fury, burning it fairly quickly. Possibly a little bit too quickly before Cyberpunk is really going to have a chance to respond. But
they just played the map better there. What started as a mid lane fight turned into a beacon fight, turned into them chasing a Ratatoskr all over the map, which never works out well, while the rest of his team takes the Gold Fury.
Yeah, that was really interesting there, which ended up pulling out really well for Calder's Good Boys. They were able to get Rama out, able to get him a little bit further behind, the straight 2 across his stat line, and able to really capitalize off of that, as we do see a bit of an 800 gold lead, but we are going to see Cyberpunk Otters pick up that Pyromancer and try and have them cut down that gold lead again, only being 100 difference. But kills are still in favor of Cyberpunk Otters.
Absolutely. The more interesting chart, in my opinion, there was the XP. At one point, it was up over around 4,000. It's dipped down to around 1,500 now, it said. So, again, Calder's just doing a really, really good job of making sure they get their own farm so that they might have a lead, like over in solo lane, but it's not getting worse. It's either staying the same or they're closing the gap a little bit. And they're fighting very, very well around Ratatosker when he's there in the fight. And it seems like any other time, they're getting a little disorganized. So at this point, I'd really like to just see them group up and try to force their fights and their pressure at some point on wherever they want to choose on the map.
Absolutely, and it looks like they're really, both teams are, I feel like, are really pressuring out the right players at the right times. You know, Sniper Glynn's really able to poke out that Rama, while Thor and Rama are really able to target out that Izanami, but I haven't seen much focus being done on these mid laners other than that one tower dive from Thor. So I want to see some pressure put on these mid laners because they're going to be putting out some major damage come late game. And as we see that, we see Spirit of the Nine Winds take out a quarter of Mulan's health, and Lone Wolf struggling with 1 health in the background as Rat ults in, and it looks like Mulan may end up falling here, but Rat is going to end up falling first, and Charon is first as well, as Mulan is living on 60 health there.
Hey, 60 HP is 59 more than you need. And yeah, Thor goes up, comes right back down, gets a massive stun, lots of damage. His team's there to follow up. They get 2 easy picks. And I expect to see them pick up this Fire Giant here because they have 2 ADCs.
Oh, no, Lone.
They've got a Kronos and a Rom. Oh,
Lone, why didn't you back?
I really expect to see him pick up this Fire now as Izanami is taking a tower in left lane. Maybe try to push Phoenix and equalize this out a little bit. But this should be a free fire for Cyberpunk.
Yes, absolutely, but it does look like this is going to be a free bird for Izanami as well, as we did see DDM also get very, very low. Zaf getting very, very low as well, and this bird is going to go down in favor of Calders here, but it does, you know, that's not a bad move for Calders there. They knew a couple of their members were down. Izanami was already there in left lane. Just tell your ADC to go. Just W key towards those objectives. You need to get those down to try and mitigate this loss of fire here. It's not EFG too, so it looks like just a standard fire will end up going in favor of Cyberpunk there. But
and like you said, when he's already over there, the fight's not gone well, and you have to get something. As we see them pick up. Gonna get out again? No, they do get the Mulan.
You know, I do have
to
say, I do wish Lone got that kill. Lone is currently 2 levels down, was 3 levels down from that Mulan, being 0-6 right now. I need to see Lone farming this Amaterasu, farming a little bit more, possibly securing some of these kills to get that XP, but it does look like even though he is 2 levels down, he's still chunking Mulan. So once he's on par, he's going to hurt.
I think 2 levels down just comes from Mulan being such a strong early game god. As we see the Gold Fury get picked up, we see Rat go up into the air. So they're fighting around here now.
Rat is in the air, gonna secure that kill on to Thor. We did see Spirit of the Nine Winds come out to try and secure, as Rat is able to secure that Rama on a 1 health himself, as Calders is showing, hey, you guys may have fire, but we have ultimates and we have tornadoes, and we are going to come down and destroy you. And nearly all of Cyberpunk Otters here is going to get wiped except for Mulan, but it doesn't look like they see Mulan in the background. But she's deciding, oh, hey, this is not a smart idea for me to go in. And it looks like they're trying to put out some damage onto this Titan, but they have 2 T2s still up. Are they going to have some damage to secure it?
Looks like they might. They're burning it fast.
They don't have Cuckoo ult, they don't have Izanami ult, but they do have the Charon ult, which is going to put out the final damage and be able to finish out this game 1 of semifinals in favor of Calder's Good Boys here. That was a very quick finish there.
Definitely a quick finish. They won a team fight so hard that they were able to take advantage of the already cracked base. They didn't have to worry about getting to the other towers, the other phoenixes. They were just like, hey, there's not enough of them to stop us from taking Titan. So they took the Titan.
Yeah, that was a very strong, very quick game one in favor of Calder's Good Boys. They were able to put out a lot of strong numbers, a lot of strong pressure as well. And yeah, we'll see what happens in game two of this Calder's versus Cyberpunk Otters game of semifinals. Good evening, everyone. We are here for game two of Calder's Good Boys versus Cyberpunk Otters semifinals. I'm here with Deacon and Wolfie Pup on the spectate. So, great game one from Calder's team. They pulled a massive win at the end there with two T2s up and two Phoenixes up, going in and just wiping out the Titan room with 4 members of Cyberpunk Otters down.
Yeah,
that was a great end.
They were just able to take advantage of it and struck while the iron was hot and took every inch that they gave and pushed it to a win. Excited to see how these teams potentially adapt. As I already see one adaptation here in bans. Athena got banned out.
Yes, we do see the Athena and Chernobog ban on Cyberpunk Otter side, but we are seeing the same bans coming from the Calder side, Wheelix, Danzaburo, and Pele, as well as a Nike ban still trying to target out that lone wolf. And it does seem that they put him into a uncomfortable god last game, the Amaterasu going 0-6.
Maybe a little bit. Maybe they were able to ban out, so he had to reach down into like the very, very bottom of his bag of tricks. So maybe they want to prioritize his pick just a little bit earlier. We do see the one god that changed up from picks and bans last time, the Ganesh, gets locked in with this first pick. Not surprising to see him picked up so early when he gets through the ban process.
Absolutely. I do know Ral is a menace on this Ganesh. He's able to land his ult so well, and his ohms are just on point, as we are seeing this Aphrodite being hovered as well. And Afro has been a menace in my casual games, I do know, and has been able to build full damage but still being able to take multiple tower shots. So Afro has been a very strong member, but does look like they are thinking of the Ymir Achilles, it looks like.
Ymir definitely a bit of a wild card at this stage, as we still see that hovered, not locked in. Achilles, not surprising at all to see locked in here. Got some of the buffs that we saw when they really, really tried to push mage solos out, so he's one of that next group of warriors to step into the power vacuum. Not surprised to see him picked up here at all, and can really, really swing some fights with his executes.
Yeah, and I do have to say, I think they're in the mental of, hey, we put Lone so far behind that they're going to try and prio his pick, and he has a nasty Achilles. So possibly looking to pull that pick out of Lone's hands and try and use it as a false ban almost, trying to make sure that they don't let him go ahead. And it does look like Cyberpunk Otters does switch off from trying to choose a support and chooses a mid laner of Scylla, which is going to be very interesting to pick this early. As we do see Ratatasker and Izanami picked up as well, same as last game. Ratatasker into Scylla, it looks like that's going to be a juicy spot for some acorns there.
Absolutely. I always like a Scylla pick. I think she just brings so much to the table once she gets a couple of items online and gets her 2 maxed out and her 1 maxed out to get those extra benefits. But the key word you said was early. Not really any need to pick a Scylla early in the draft process. She's always great from that third pick onslaught when some other top priorities have been selected and you're able to choose what you want to do a little bit more, especially when it gives up the Ratatosker and Izanami to Sniper and Pity again when they looked so strong and made such a difference in game one, you could have done with the Achilles again and used your pick as a pseudo ban where you take something strong for yourself, but also
Mhm.
get the benefit of taking it away from the opponent.
Absolutely. And we are seeing those second round bans coming through after we did see that X Ball pickup, which I do know is a strong Jacob pickup as well. We're seeing Cuckoo, Sun Wukong, Thanatos, and Thor, seeing that Thor ban away from Zaf over on Cyberpunk side. So that will really limit the amount of global pressure that Cyberpunk will be able to have on the map, as well as that Cuckoo and Sunwoo ban. Again, trying to push Lone onto an opposite god, and Cuckoo has been. I know Cuckoo's my ultimate favorite right now. Has just been a menace in lane, and with how many tornadoes he's able to put out, how much damage he's able to put out with his ultimate. So, not
Yeah,
surprised with those bans there.
definitely not surprised to see any of those bands. Thor, Rat, Thanatos, they all have very similar playstyle. They want to go up and dunk down on you. So when one team has one of them and the other team doesn't, by virtue of bans, generally big advantage to the team that has that semi-global presence. And
Hmm.
yeah, definitely not a surprise to see the Cuckoo ban. He's just so strong right now with the build and the play style. He has so much space control with the twisters, and that alt just packs so much damage, has so much confirm on objectives that you don't want anything challenging the I'm a monster for confirm, so just take that away from him.
Absolutely. I would love to see a Thoth here in mid. I think a Thoth, even a Poseidon, yeah, a Poseidon would be very strong into Scylla. Getting that early wave pressure and trying to steal that farm away from Scylla, really trying to starve her out, will be really helpful here. But we are.
Absolutely. You
Sorry,
know
go ahead.
Scylla's strongest at the late game, so she's weakest at the early. So if you can starve her out in the early game and push that late game further into the distance, the better for you. So I'm not at all surprised to see a Poseidon locked in across from her. Really push that. Once Poseidon hits level 3, the clear is completely unmatched from him
Hmm.
for Scylla. So just push her wave under tower and then either attack her or go get tower, or I'm sorry, jungle farm, gank other
Hmm.
lanes.
Yeah, absolutely. I love Poseidon here. I think that combined with Tasker, either one setting up for each other in their ults. And we are going to see Lone Luck in that Amaterasu again. Interesting.
Like, definitely interesting. Not going up against the Mulan this time, going into an Achilles, and Achilles is strong as well, but not. He's more so just evenly strong throughout the game. He's not such a lane bully as Mulan is, so potentially a little more wiggle room there. But also Amaterasu does just bring a lot. Even when behind, the ult is very strong in team fights and can help your team out a lot, so not too
Hmm.
surprising to see him go back to it.
Yeah. And we are
You
going to see
see,
some setup with Daji.
yes, I'm definitely not. I love that combination. Daji, Scylla, it's it's a classic 1-2 punch for a reason. It's a lot of
Hmm.
setup into a lot of damage. And Scylla does have some potential to set herself up with her one root combo, but anytime your jungle or your support or anyone can make it easier for you, the better. So is it once we get to the mid late game, I expect to see them attempt that play, dodgy ult into Scylla ult. I expect to see them lather, rinse, repeat it.
Absolutely. And whatever Scylla can't clean up, Achilles is right there with his executes. So it's going to be an interesting matchup for sure. So it's time for that question, Deacon. Do you know what time it is? Which one do
Yes.
you think?
Well, again, it's close. This might be my personal bias here, just because I see my favorite god locked in on them. But I have to give the edge to Cyberpunk Otters here. Late
Yeah.
game team fight, Dodgy Scylla combination is just so strong. Achilles always strong throughout the entire game. And that X Ball ult can really just throw a lot of confusion into the opposition, especially if you see Rat go up in the air. You turn the lights out on him, he has no idea what he's doing anymore. It neutralizes that threat rather easily.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I do I think I'm gonna oppose you again. I do think I like Calders. Um, Having Ganesh really, like, lock them in with their ult or put out so much damage with the walls of his ult, combined with Izanami and then Poseidon and then a Rat Dunk, like, if Cyberpunk is caught grouping up at all or trying to get an objective, Calder's Go Boys has so many, like, secure potential and steal potential and so much just able to lock down one after another. I really think Calder's may be able to pull out a 2-0 here.
Oh, absolutely. If Sniper has a performance like he did in game one, that's definitely within the realm of possibility. He was so strong on the Ratatoskr. I'm kind of surprised to not see it either banned or picked away from him, to be honest with you.
Absolutely. I'm shocked as well. That and the Mulan, and we didn't see Mulan come into game two either. And it wasn't banned or picked away. So I'm really wondering if Dave just had the mindset of, hey, we need to lock down Lone and we need to prio ban these other gods.
Yeah, like you said, because the Achilles was banned out in the second phase game one, so you can
Hmm.
pick it and then you don't have to ban it. And the Mulan, oh, it performed very well in the last
Hmm.
game. If you like the Achilles better, there's no reason to not go with that. So
Hmm.
I just think Lone Wolf and the team really prefer that Alma team play style, so they weren't going to look to the Mulan themselves.
That's very fair. That's very fair. All right. Seeing these games roll out as we see Ganesh is bouncing around, having some fun, rolling around, hanging out.
He's he's just such a fun little guy.
He is a fun little guy. He's a fun little elephant, a cute little elephant, if you may.
I do see one difference as we look at early builds here so far.
Yeah.
Uh, Lone Wolf built Death's Toll this time around, so I would expect the laning
Yeah.
phase to go a little better just by virtue of having better sustain.
Hmm. It does look like there may have been a little mix up of communication here with the three buffs, but it does look like they're able to recover themselves over on Calder's side, grabbing all three buffs. You know, that Izanami clear really giving them the potential to put out a ton of clear here, but Izanami is going to be low going into lane. Looks like a little under half health as Ganesh also has to backtrack to go and pick up his green as he honkatonks
Yeah.
over into lane.
Yeah, just a little bit of a miscommunication there, and it cost them the ability to really exert their pressure before Cyberpunk even had the chance to step into lane. I mean, they still cleared
Mhm.
the wave before them, obviously, just by nature of having Izanami. But they could have had wave cleared and been standing where they are now when they walked in and really had some kill potential, as we see Lone Wolf just manage to dash out and keep himself alive.
Absolutely. Lone seems to be a major aggressor over here in this solo lane and taking a lot of poke because of it. I almost want to see him back up a little bit and just try and preserve his health to help not put this Achilles ahead and not pressure out this and not allow himself to get pressured out here and lose lane in this way. So I want to see him hang back a little bit, kind of like what he's doing now, and really see him secure himself. As we do see similar rotations to last game, Daji heading over to the solo lane as Rat's heading over to the duo lane. But Ral is low, and so is T Pity as that Aegis comes out. But Aegis may have been Beats. Beats comes out on the Izanami, and it does look like X-Ball is going to be able to pick up that kill as that dash and pluck is missed on Sobek, but Ral is very low. X-Ball damage is not anything to scoff at as Rat does come over to knock out some acorns, put out some big damage, and X-Ball is in a little bit of trouble here, but it looks like Ral was just a little bit too far away to help follow up on that damage.
Yeah, they were just able to isolate the Izanami there and hit hit her with a couple of autos and get the damage on her and get the kill before Sniper Glenn even had the chance to really prevent it from happening. And at that point in time, there's not much he can do except just get the shield buff. And Lone Wolf does manage to escape on the other side of the map, so it's at least not a 2-0 for Cyberpunk, but they do manage to get the early first blood again and potentially form a snowball. Let's see if they can get it rolling more this time.
Absolutely, and we know Cyberpunk really wants to get this early snowball rolling with Daji and Stilla on their side. They want to get that lead ahead early, as we do see Brawl still being poked out a bit. Izanami really losing that pressure up against this Sobek X-Ball picks, as we do see Sobek miss that pluck once again, but is still putting out some big damage numbers over here in this duo lane.
Yeah, a lot of damage coming out. I am mildly surprised to see these Nami and Ganesh losing pressure so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's not outside the realm of possibility, like I said. It's just a bit of a surprise, but Cyberpunk Otters are just playing very well here in the first 3 minutes. They've just managed to exude pressure pretty much all over the map, as we see a scuffle over the shield buff, but when you walk in at low health bars and get plucked...
Is good, but that dash is even better as Izanami's able to get out as X-Ball is full health, really pressuring out Izanami and Ganesh here, and they're going to say, hey, I'm taking the shield buff. The shield buff is mine. I have that health to take it, and I want this extra health. But it does look like both ADCs are going to lose a big portion of this wave here, and that's XP that they're not going to have in their pocket for as they head into this early mid game, as that pluck is good on that Ganesh and dash is good to lock down that Sobek. Both supports are low as TPD secures that kill and is able to dash away, but it does look like Daji is here and is going to miss her chains and her ultimate's up, but no one's going to step close enough to that. It looks like she was just a little bit off the mark, doing her ultimate a little too early here. But Rat's not going to let that go for free, and it looks like she's going to be in some trouble here. That X-Ball all coming through, but they are going to secure that kill on that Daji. Rattle up in the air, and it looks like X-Ball might be in some trouble here. That dunk is good, and the acorns are even better. That damage is coming through, and Sniper is going to take a tower shot to secure Jacob Frostsoap's life there underneath his T1. And it does look like we are going to hit a pause here. Welcome back, everyone. And we are back with this semifinals game from Calder's Good Boys and Cyberpunk Otters. A little bit of lag coming out from Cyberpunk side and DC over on Cyberpunk side. So just wanted to get that resolved, make sure we were all good. And we are rolling here again. And Deacon, I've noticed something.
Oh, what's that?
Daji only just picked up a recipe, and Sobek isn't cooking.
Well, that's just a real shame. If your team's not cooking together, how can you expect to accomplish things together?
That is going to be a little bit of a detriment over onto Cyberpunk's side, where if they don't have those recipes online at the same time, you see most of the recipes tipping over to those T2 recipes. If Cyberpunk isn't online at the same time, they're going to get further and further behind. Those benefits from the recipes is just so high.
Yeah, they're definitely strong. That's why you want to get them early to make sure you can get them online. So having that, even if it is just the, 5.5, 6 minutes before until you manage to get even with them, that's a long time to just be without benefits that you could have had.
Absolutely. So seeing these builds kind of start out a little different, we are seeing War Flag and Thieves being built on Sobek versus the Sentinel's Prophetic, most likely into Thieves on Ganesh. So what do you think about that?
The Prophetic and Thebes double stack, it's so strong late game. You have so many prots, you give so many prots and mitigation to your team, but you have to get stacks you have to get there first. Whereas Warflag is it matches Sobek in the sense that Warflag's aggressive. Warflag means I want to be fighting, and Sobek likes to fight, likes to dash in and throw you to his team. Daji dashes in.
Daji dashes in and Izanami dashes out, as we do see Dave take out Lone Wolf, but then Sniper Glenn take out Dave. We did see Sniper kind of keeping an eye on Lone here, wanting to make sure that he was good, and it looks like he did use his ult to dive in onto Dave and secure that kill on the Achilles. And it does look like Achilles' ult is down as well, so it may have been an execute here as we see Daji doing her ult over on the purple buff, trying to yoink that Izanami out from under tower, saying, hey, I want to play with you. Come on out under tower. Come on out. And T-Pity is just dodging those chains every which way that they can.
Yeah, so far Zaf has just been a little out of range with those dodgy ults. I wanna see him get in there first and then go up, so that when you're in the middle of the fight, it's so much easier. When you're on the very edge, you have to be extremely precise, as we see Spobek dash in and pluck Poseidon, but no follow up behind him.
Yeah, it does look like there may have just been a little bit of just targeted CC there, trying to get Poseidon a little bit riled up and knocked up a little bit, but it does look like Ganesh is going to dash in and own the heck out of Sobek and Scylla there as Poseidon follows up with a couple of little autos, but not much is happening here in mid. There wasn't a ton happening last game either. There was big ultimates coming from both the mid laners last game in team fights, but laning phase, they're both respectful, hanging out, farming, saying, "Hey, let's just get to 20 and then we'll battle each other out."
Yeah, they both seem to have the similar mentality of let's just farm. Let's just farm it out.
Let's just play.
Neither of us want to play the first 10 minutes. We only care about what happens then. So let's just get there.
Yeah, let's hang out, play some farming simulator, maybe some Animal Crossing. Just hang out, have some fun.
But yeah, let these guys in the side lanes have all the action.
Yeah, we don't want to hear. And then the junglers just come in, the solo laners come in, all the battles for Beacon come in, and then the mid laners are just like, I just want to farm.
Oh yeah.
But it does look like Izanami is finally playing out that big pressure. T-Pity being able to confidently dash aggressively here. And I know as an Izanami main in ADC, that is a great feeling to have that confidence and being able to be strong here. As we do see Sobek ult coming out in the mid lane, as we were just talking about, no fighting in the mid lane. That Ganesh ult as well as the Red Tasker dunk onto Scylla, followed up by a shark nominating his way, taking Scylla's life. That was a great move, and what I was talking about earlier during P's and B's, as we see Daji coming out and being able to claw out Ral there, but it's okay, he's the support. Being able to pluck out one member of Kalder's good boys there, but not much damage to follow up as Scylla was on the gray screen there. So it was a successful Daji ult, but it wasn't being able to be followed up on.
Yeah, and it was just as simple as like you outlined during picks and bans. Ganesh threw out the ult, Ratatoskr slammed down on top of it, and Scylla just died.
Yeah, and seeing that Kraken there right behind just to secure and make sure and deter anyone from going in on Ratatoskr there is huge, because Rat's all in. Once he's in, he is in, and there's not much he can do besides blink and dash his way out. So if he ends up having to spend everything and lose his life for it, having that Kraken there to really deter anyone from coming down on top of Rat while he's already in is great. We are seeing Rat dash in even more over here on this ADC lane, trying to help get T-Pity ahead, as we are seeing some scuffles happen over on the solo side. Amaterasu falling to Achilles. It does look like that execute went through once again. Poseidon and Ganesh was rotating over to help relieve some pressure, but it does look like Daji and Achilles are just too much to handle for Lone on this Amaterasu.
Yeah, and it's funny. You see Lone's 0-2 as opposed to Dave's 1-1, but Lone Wolf is level 12 to Dave's 11, so he's managed to farm better, if nothing else. Maybe some ganks have gone against him and the kills aren't going his way, but he's managed to farm and be similar so that when it comes to team fight time, he won't just be there for his ult. He'll be able to provide some use in other ways, as we see with Rather up around this beacon.
Yes, Sobeko, Ganesha ult both being used to try
Or Scylla
and...
ult defensively.
Ooh, did not see that, but that was a good call out. All three ults trying to utilize to help secure this beacon, but it does go in favor of Calder's Good Boys here. And speaking of similarities, we do see that T1 tower going in favor of Calder's Good Boys on the ADC side, as well as this early Gold Fury. All very strong moves from Calder's Good Boys, as we do see this World Tree coming out as X-Ball tries to ult out, but he able to keep X-Ball in his vision as Rat is blinded, and he's able to dash away from that Daji as he's able to secure that kill and just yoink himself out. But Daji is putting some pressure onto this Ganesh, but Ganesh is just like, hey, I'm a big cute elephant. I don't need your damage. And he's just able to walk away with a good portion of his life.
Yeah, and Calder's Good Boys there just said, hey, we want to group up strong, 4 or 5 around the beacon, force you guys out, take me. Now that you're forced out, we're going to start this Gold Fury. Oh, you want to try to step up to us? Well, we're going to attack you there. We're going to take gold. And then Rat's just going to go up into the air and kill your ADC, and we're going to win everything on the left side of the map. Right. What are you going to do about it?
And it looks like all that Cyberpunk was really able to do was get that T1 in mid, which, you know, I would give up. To take down the ADC, take down, it looks like an ultimate from their jungler, and take the Gold Fury and the beacon. I would definitely give up a T1 there. And it, in contrast to last game, we are seeing about a 4k gold lead in Calder's favor. And that's showing how much Calder's is really able to secure some extra farm, as we see a great one coming from Scylla here, as she lives on 1 health but is going to be taken down by an auto from Poseidon. Dajiel coming down but is going to miss her plucks, and Ganesh is going to come in, and I believe I heard those beads come out from Daji. Looks like they were expended for a Ganesh stun, but not much damage there to follow up on her, so I would not be happy if I was Daji in this moment. It looks like Izanami may end up being in a little bit of a tough spot, but is going to be able to get that back out in time before 3 members of Cyberpunk Otters really collapse on her, as it looks like Cyberpunk really doesn't know what to do here.
Exactly. I was just going to say, they need someone to speak up and get them all on the same page right now. They are potentially staring at the end of their season. Everyone is either isolated and getting picked or showing up late to fight. Someone needs to get them organized and on the same page so that they can do the things that their draft is set up to do. Daji ult into Scylla ult. Have Achilles be a terror in your backline. Turn the lights out on them with X-Ball. You have the tools there, they're just not utilizing them because they're not on the same page, as we see Rat go into the air again as we're grouped around this Pyromancer.
Yeah, and we do see that Aegis come out from the Scylla, but it doesn't look like it's going to be good enough, as that Whirlpool and the damage just coming out from Rat's Acorns is just going to come out and secure her life, as Sobek is trying to escape as well, but the Kraken along with Rat is just going to secure his life. And it looks like Amaterasu is really pressuring out this solo lane tower at the same time, and it looks like Calder just has pressure all over, as T Pity may be giving X-Ball a run for his money.
And again, they were just grouped up better there. They said, we're going to pull the Pyro. We have 3 people. You have 2. What are you guys going to do about it? And the answer was nothing. They're just going to stand there and let Calder's Good Boys do what they want and initiate the fight. As we see them initiate the fight onto Devo over there in solo lane.
Exactly. We did see Lone putting out a lot of pressure onto Achilles there, and was really trying to pressure him under tower. Was able to secure that T1 tower, and then Ganesh and Rat were just able to rotate over and be like skipping over, holding hands, basically over to the solo lane, just hanging out and being able to secure that kill over onto the Achilles. We did see that Achilles ult do get started there, and it does look like it was expended to try and escape. So having that ultimate down and that execute down as well on Cyberpunk's side is going to be extremely helpful. As we do see this Oni Fury up and the beacon up soon, and a couple of wards hanging out around this fire giant, does look like we are transitioning over to this mid game where some big fights and team fights are going to be happening. As we see Kalder's Go Boys continuing to group up, looping around this Oni Fury, really putting out huge damage onto this Oni Fury without even T-Pity being there. But it looks like Kalder's is not gonna let that go for free, as they are on the fire giant, and it doesn't look like Kalder's really know.
They have no idea.
They have no idea that they're on the fire, but they are not burning it nearly as fast, and health bars are getting low, especially on this Sobek and this Achilles. So, but it does look like it is going to go in the way of Cyberpunk Otters, which is huge. It's going to help lessen that gold lead, which is now around 7k gold, just under 7k gold in favor of Kalder's Good Boys there. But at the same time, Kalder has Oni waves heading up towards those C2s. And last game we even saw Cyberpunk Otters got that fire, but then they ended up ultimately losing the game right there. So it's going to be interesting to see Cyberpunk with this fire and being able to really try and progress.
So we see it's like a 7k gold lead. Fire definitely helps mitigate that, turn it into more even. But just because we're now fighting on a relatively even playing field doesn't mean things are all suddenly going your way. Still got to deal with the Oni waves, which looks like they have at this point in time. Mm-hmm. But now you can group up and feel on even ground with your opponent. But what are you going to do now? Now it's your turn to be active. This whole game, the first 19 minutes and 15 seconds, Kalder's Good Boys has posed all the questions. They've acted, Cyberpunk has had to react. I'd like to see that change, but
coming in and being able to dunk into that T2 and taking Scylla's life as Daji misses her chance as well. A lot of members of Kalder's Good Boys taking a couple of tower shots as Poseidon picks up the Sobek as well. Rat stun coming through as Lone is pushing them out and putting out some big damage here, and the rest of Kalder's
tower and duo lane.
Oh, T-Pity is tanking tower over in duo lane, taking that T2. That split push is going to be huge for them, as no one else is really contesting it. I wish there was some stronger communication there. Well, X-Ball is there now, but I would have been on that tower line putting some damage into that Phoenix there. But it does look like Cyberpunk is in a position now to try and go in and get that Pyromancer here. But Rat and Poseidon are around, and Amaterasu is sneaking up behind, so they may end up being able to secure it out. As Zaf does get low, and Rat is able to secure the kill, as we see Achilles ult being utilized to escape, and Kalder's is like, hey, this is our objective. This is what we do. So we're going to take it. But it does look like Achilles is going to try and sacrifice his life to try and secure, as we see Rat ult up again, and is dunking on the Scylla on cooldown, twirling around and taking her life. And we are seeing that Kraken come out and Lone Wolf picking up that kill on the Sobek. This is what we saw last game again. Cyberpunk Otters was able to secure that fire, but with the grouping and the synergy between Kalder's Good Boys, they're just able to take the objectives and roll and be able to take down towers and structures as quickly as possible. As we see Jacob Frost getting low, but Sniper's thinking better of himself and is going to refrain from diving in, as he does get plucked by the Daji ult, and the shutdown comes down for Jacob, and Rat is going to be shut down and is going to go into Jacob's hands, and that XP is going to be great for him, and he's going to be able to finish out his build, ground it out, and get closer to 20. We did see
definitely huge to get the kill on Rat there and finally get him shut down. And
he was 11-0. I just noticed that he was 11-0. That is a huge bounty there. That is great for X-Ball. But we do see the triple kills. Not full triple kill, a double kill and a single coming in favor of Kalder's Good Boys here, as they pick up this Primal Fury, possibly preparing for a quick rotation over to fire as it gets coming up in about 45 seconds or so. Just under a minute. But go ahead.
Make no mistake about it. Sniper Glynn's playing fantastic on this Ratatosker. You don't get to 11-0 and now 11-1 without playing well yourself. But the team is playing so well around and through him. Every single time he goes up into the air, there's a Ganesh ult waiting for him to land on.
Absolutely.
And then there's a Poseidon ult 2 seconds later to clean up anyone who didn't die from the initial initiation.
Absolutely. And everyone's just able to protect the president here and being able to secure everything that they're able to. You know, Lone may be 1 in 3, but he's also sacrificing his life to make sure Rat gets out, or T-Pity's able to get out. As we see this all come in, and he's going to dunk again onto the Scylla. Leave the Scylla alone. Leave TDM alone, Rat. So we've seen him ult this Rat on cooldown, and as we see Zap continuing to push these towers over in the solo lane, trying to give his team a little bit of leverage, get some gold in their pocket too, which is not underrated right now. We see them continuing to try and build out their builds here and get their gold, as we see 10k gold difference at the 23-minute mark, as we see Ral go down as well for Calder's Good Boys in favor of Cyberpunk Otters here. And it does look like Calder's is not in a good spot to contest this beacon, which is going to help Titans push out and roam. And it does look like they are going to go into the solo lane.
Yeah, definitely. Getting a tower there, getting a kill there, getting beacon. Any little bit of gold you can get helps so much when you're down around 10k. They've shrunk it just a little bit under there now as we see Calder's pick up the Fire Giant. But
they burned that so quickly.
They really did, as we see Rat go up into the air again, slam down, and pick up.
Oh, almost pick up. Maybe pick up. Jacob is
a double kill.
Drop a double kill there with Jacob running out on 1 health, Dave running out on a quarter health, Zaf on half health.
Pity in the back line finds X-Ball.
T-Pity is able to clean up, and it looks like they're trying to sandwich them under this T1, but it looks like T-Pity may be in a tough spot. Plucked into Phoenix, but luckily they did have their dash up as they are fighting this Titan that is roaming down, and they want to get this Titan done. They want to get it back into their base and into that Titan room, so this way their Titan can come and push this Phoenix, as we see Ganesh putting out a huge amount of poke damage onto the Scylla, as she's going to dash away and try and help protect her Titan, as it looks like Calder's maybe trying to put out some big pressure here. That mid Phoenix hanging on by, I swear, 10 health there.
Yeah, just if any one person or any minion walks in there and breathes on that Phoenix, it's gonna go down. So I would not at all be surprised to see them try to push that real quick, but looks like they might take their foot off the gas a little bit. Back, regroup, spend some gold, pick up this Pyromancer, and then group up and either push that mid Phoenix or maybe try to catch this Titan if they can get there fast enough, but looks like Cyberpunk's gonna have the chance to get rid of the Titan over there in the solo lane before.
Yeah, but that's a great distraction, as that Phoenix is on 1 health. Ganesh may be able to just poke it out, or even just Amaterasu, and they have a bomb in pocket. They're able to get this Titan down if they're able to get into that Titan room. But we see X-Ball low, but he's going to be able to get into Fountain, get some health out, and be able to really put up a fight, as we see Davo in the back. And we see Kraken is suspended as Titan is at half health. This is the semifinals, guys, and it looks like Calder's is going into the finals game for the Walkers.
Yeah,
wow.
Calder's, again, just grouped up better than Cyberpunk. I mean, granted, you're spread out, your Phoenixes are down, you have to deal with Titan in 1 lane, Fire Minion in the other, but Calder's was able to take advantage of that and just barge in, spearhead themselves right down the middle, clear that Phoenix on low HP, barge into the Titan room, and take it with relatively little defense coming out of the Cyberpunk.
Yeah, it looks like they were trying. It was a little bit of what we saw a little during the whole game. They were a little bit spread thin. They didn't know where to apply their pressure. They were trying to take care of the Titan in left lane. Then they realized, oh hey, our mid Phoenix is low. Oh, okay, let's go ahead and make sure we keep our left Phoenix up. But some people were still on the mid Phoenix. Calder's was still able to get their mid Phoenix down. They were like, okay, let's go and make sure their Titan doesn't come in. But then they're like, oh crap, our Titan. So it was a great game to watch from Calder's team and seeing their synergy and their grouping up. And they are definitely going to be a force to reckon with in the finals game.
Absolutely. If they play that like they did here, they're going to give anyone a run for their money and potentially come out with a win in the finals because they like you said, they played together, they played the map well, they played the fights well. It's hard to fight. It's hard to go against a team that's playing so well as a unit like that.
Absolutely. So if you guys want to catch the next semifinals game, that is going to look, it's currently scheduled for New Year's Eve at 8 p.m. So go ahead. We'll go ahead and try and stream it here. If not, we'll go ahead and try and cast it the following day. And we will meet up with you guys then as we reach the next semifinals match of season 2 of Frank's Retirement Home. I was Lunar B, joined with Deacon and Wolfie on the Spectate. Thank you everyone for coming out.